Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. Today, flinging pipe cleaners, I am going to do some Christmas ducks. I have, as some of you already know, hundreds of ducks. So I picked out 3 because I want to make a Santa, a snowman and a reindeer. So what I'm going to do first, because these are going to need to be painted, they're going to be modified a little bit. Santa the least. So we might even start with him, because he just needs to be painted red so we can get rid of the smiley face, which I don't think will scratch off. And I thought, do I pinken up his face or do we keep it red? Undecided. So we'll decide that in a moment. Snowman and reindeer. We need to make some arms for snowman and some antlers for reindeer. Now I don't have any brown pipe cleaners. Though I could use black, couldn't I? We'll go black. So I think what I need to do first is get their attachments before I paint them, because I'm going to have to jab holes in them and feed the pipe cleaners in. Now, antlers, I'm going to keep it simple. And I don't want to make them too big because they'll be bigger than his head then. Look, something like that. Still going to be quite big. So I may or may not slick them down with some glue. Let's see. Let's get the 2 antlers put together. They're going to be quite big antlers, aren't they? I think slicking down might be better. Luckily you have quite a bit of play with pipe cleaners. They might be better. Yeah. And stick arms. Well, we're going to get them stuck in there first before we decide on that. So let's get a little hole cut for antlers. I'm trying to make sure they're in the same place. There we go. Oh. Yeah, they look pretty cool, fuzzy though. We'll see. We might stick them down. We might not. Now for you, it's got to be tucked just behind the wing. I think his might be better slicked down. Yeah, I think his would be better slicked down. Holding his little sticky wings. His little sticky wings. He's holding his little sticks behind his wings. Whatever's going to happen to them, I'm going to start painting these so they can dry. So, snowman duck, we just want to get rid of all of your black bits. We might take a couple of coats, and I'm just using acrylic paint. Right, Santa duck is going to have a pinky face, which we will be giving 2 coats to. And the rest of him can be red. Now, because this is going to be a slightly different colour red to him, we will go all over. And that will also have 2 coats. And Rudolph needs a nice brown. And we might do a couple of shades. So we can have like a little chesty bit. Whilst they're all drying, we're going to sort out the snowman scarf. I've got a little random off-cut of ribbon from somewhere, so I'm just going to use a permanent marker and give it some stripes. I think we will go for blue and red. I think that'll look quite nice. And then I will flip it. Oh, actually, I won't really need to flip it over because it's gone through Handy. So I'm going to do that. That's not going to make entertaining viewing, just watching me colour stripes on a piece of ribbon for about 10 plus minutes. Snowman duck, also needs a top hat. Now I've taken that's a little lid off the top of this like body mist, but it's the perfect size for a little snowman's hat. So I just melt off a piece of it because it was a bit too tall. And since my cut was a little bit wonk, I'm just tidying it up. That's a bit more level. And using a scrap of card from another project I have recently purchased and done for Christmas. And make him a little rim. So, pencil. So I want it a little bit bigger than that. What have I got that's a little bit bigger than that? Maybe that? It might be too big. And it's off centre. But if we use that, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit rickety. Been out in the snow. So let's get that cut out. Recenter that. Looks a bit more central. Now we're going to cut inside that circle because we want this to rest on it. We'll come in a little bit. Perhaps about there. And then I'm going to, yep, lovely. Yoo-hoo glue that. And then paint the whole thing black. We have a little top hat. We might even bend this up a little bit to make it a bit, it's got to be a bit of a worn in, beaten around top hat. Glue on the top hat. Just let that dry. When we come back, that'll be painted black. Snowman duck is at his next stage, making him a snowman. So I bought this about 3 years ago now, and I still have loads of it, and I thought it would be perfect for snowing him up. I've got a bit of paper to work off of here because this is going to go everywhere. I'm going to start from the bottom. Yeah, glue, pack, glue, pack, glue, pack, glue, pack. Leave him to dry. So let's try and do this. I'm going quite quick, so this shouldn't dry before I've gone all the way around. Right. Give it a little pat as I'm going. And try and leave a gap for the eyes. Right, let's do this. Oh, if my finger went in the way, he looks quite cute. Alright, I'm going to let that dry. Little snowman ducky is ready for the next bit. I've given him a little dust off, a little blow to get rid of all the loose. Is we can add, or perhaps he just needs one. We'll see. We'll add his little bead eyes and little bead buttons. We'll put one on and see. I guess he could have two, couldn't he? Now the eyes are going to be somewhat more tricky. Do I get tweezers involved? I think we go straight on with these ones. Actually, I think he's okay now. I don't think his beads. I'm going to let that dry before I put the scarf on because I risk knocking too many things off or giving him wonky eyes. Okay, various stages for all of our ducks here. Snowman duck, very nearly done. Santa duck, quite a way off being done. Reindeer duck, very nearly done. And all I did was painted a little paler stripe there and there. Just we got like a little chesty area and a little bum area. Let's try and get scarf and hat on duck. He's got his little scarfie on. And let's get his little hat on. Then he can just be dry and waiting for Santa and reindeer to catch him up. Oh, isn't he just styling now? This reindeer is also very nearly done. I have the tiniest googly eyes. Teeny tiny. So he's just got a little tiny something different going on. There he is. And also, since this is Rudolph Duck, he's got have a little tiny red nose. Well, not the tiniest, but those two can be completely ignored right now, so they can dry. Santa, on the other hand, Santa Duck, he's a way off yet. He's got to have a few bits done. So I think what I'll do first is measure up his trim and get that on. Maybe put a little trim around the tips of his wings, maybe? Let's get this to stay in place first. Right, I found a better way to put this on. So I took that off and started again. I poked holes with a clothespin and then pushed the pipe cleaner wire in because it had a better finish rather than being squashed down where I was pinching it. Let's try and make his glasses before anything else. This might work, it might not. Small but round, but not too small. Maybe paintbrush. That could work. Yeah, maybe that way would be better. Just resting on his beak. That could work. I'll try and get them on and popped in the in the side of his head. Alright, we'll pop them over there. Because before we think about attaching them, we've got to put his beard on. Because his beard it'll go over the top of his glasses, and we need the glasses to go over the top of the beard. And I was thinking for that, I have some white silk clay left, which I thought might be perfect. So we can mould it. And we can always press in a little texture with something. I think if we glue that bit on first, and then bring the moustache in over the top. Let's try. And what can we use to press some texture in there with? Straw, maybe? So it's like curly whirly. That looks pretty effective. Yeah. He has a tash and beard. Let's have a look at these. We don't need that much. It's about here. We need to try and do these holes at the same time and hopefully in the same place. One side is in. The other side is in. I think I might have to put the tiniest dot of super glue on his nose to stop his glasses from rising up and then hold it in place. we're going to flash forward because I've got to hold this here and then we'll get his hat put on. Father Duckmas feels like he's drying off to try and get the hat on. So let's glue his dome up. And I've turned the brim of his hat up because it was far too big in relation to what we wanted it for. And what we are going to do, because I don't want it stuck bolt upright, is glue it down like that. And I think all we'll do for finishing touches is put a little bit more air drying clay in the little gap here so his beard goes, it doesn't just stop suddenly. There's a little gap there, so we'll fill that in. Leave that to dry, and when we come back, they'll all be ready for their final shot. Here we are. Our Christmas duck transformations are done. We have Snow Duck with his lovely bead eyes, bead buttons, little ribbon scarf, and body mist cap, top hat. He's pretty cool. He does look like a snow duck. And then we have the slightly more simple Rudolph the Red-Nosed Duck, complete with googly eyes. They're very tiny, so you might see them wibble about. That one doesn't want to wibble so much. This one does. Oh, that one's a slow mover. So yeah, a little bit more simple, but love him all the same. And then no Christmas would be complete without Father Duckmas. Perhaps, I don't know whether I prefer Father Duckmas or Snow Duck. The only other thing that I added to him was I thought I'd paint him some little black gloves on. I love his beard. That was really effective. The silk clay and the straw to give it like a curly texture. And of course his glasses. Little Father Duckmas. I don't think I can... Oh, I might be able to. That one's going to go back too far. Well, what do you all think? Was this a success? I think it was. To say where these all started, we had a red duck with, I can't remember what, a circle on his chest. A white duck that I think was a baseball duck. And a camo duck that we've turned into 3 lovely little Christmas duckies with various things laying about the house. Some craft materials, just some odds and sods that I've gathered over time. This was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. I hope it's given you ideas of duck transformations, things you could do yourself, especially if, like me, or even if not like me, you just have some ducks laying around and you think they need an upgrade. I should have done Halloween ducks, shouldn't I? Next year. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and checking me and my channel out. I hope you've enjoyed this. I might have said that already, but I am very grateful and perhaps somewhat slightly forgetful at times. Like if you like what you see, comment if you got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more. Thank you all again so much. Take care. Merry Christmas. Merry Duckmas. Ha ha. And see you in the next one.